Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Cabral HouseCall. We're here with our second show of the weekend. Hopefully you got to tune in yesterday. That was episode 2885. You can obviously go check out that show after this one is done today. But we're going to answer another 5 or 6 of our community's questions today as well. If you want to read along with the questions, feel free. That's at stephencabral.com/2886. Of course, while you're over there, pick up a free copy of The Rain Barrel Effect if you haven't already done so. Because it really explains how we get sick, how we become unwell, overweight, underweight, start to age faster. That's the first half of the book. The second half of the book is exactly what I've been using in my practice now for well over a decade to help people heal. So check that out. You can find it at stephencabral.com. And of course, today's show notes are at episode 2886. Let's dive into the show. First question here today is from Laura. Laura says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm an IHP2 OG and loving how it expands my practice to support others. Thank you for making that possible. I have a client who gets severe dizziness, brain fog, and fatigue the other day after she eats any sugar, starchy veggies, sugar, almonds, just to name a few. She can't even have the DNS. We did a organic acids test, extensive blood work, hormones, and HTMA. No gut-based issues on the oat, and she does not experience any gut-based symptoms. Her insulin was 2.3, which was on the lower end, and she has very high iron. She is working together. Since working together, she is starting to feel good in other areas, but this one still lingers. I realize we do not treat, cure, or diagnose, but I thought possible reactive hypoglycemia. I cannot find any root cause for this and want to know your thoughts." Okay, thank you, Laura, for writing in, and appreciate all of our IHPs. If you have no idea what IHP means, head on over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We teach people how to become certified health coaches and go on and help others around the world. So there's so many people in need, and we want to teach everyday people how to do that. We also have a lot of nurses and personal trainers and acupuncturists and chiros and everybody inside of it. But 50% of people just want to learn more about their health and help their own family, learn how to read their own at-home labs and so much more. So definitely check that out. All right, so here's the issue. Basically, client gets severe dizziness and brain fog and fatigue the day after she eats anything with sugars or starches or almonds, just to name a few. Okay, I get it. I understand. So we don't know if this is an inflammatory rebound causing the dizziness, the fatigue, and the brain fog, because inflammation can do that. We don't know if it's a specific immune IgG sensitivity, right? I know that you ran the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, but you did not run the food sensitivity test in IgG, which I would do, okay? And we also don't know if, like you said, this might be a drop in blood sugar. So 3 things we can do. The first one, we're going to eat more protein at each meal. So whenever there's starches, we're going to eat 20 to 30 grams of protein in a meal. That's only a handful of protein. It's only about 5 to 6 ounces of protein, not that much, okay? So that might help with that balanced blood sugar. We might also want a couple tablespoons of olive oil for some healthy fat. The second is that client may want to use a continuous glucose monitor for 2 weeks to 4 weeks. The company I recommend is at stephencabral.com/resources. And then the third one is to run that food sensitivity test. And then let's see if any of these foods are causing that immunological IgG effect that next day. Thank you, Laura. Keep up the great work. All right. It might be the same Laura. Laura says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I know you have shared your thoughts on fecal transplants before, but I could not find anything on Postbiotic supplement. I realize you can't say the name, so basically the freeze-dried feces supplement. I have a client who had another practitioner recommend this to her. She does not even experience any digestive distress. If someone had severe gut-based issues or autoimmune like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, and they still suffer after trying many things, do you think there is a time or place for this? Thank you." Okay, so I absolutely do not recommend fecal transplants to individuals that have no symptoms, no issues, or haven't tried anything before. I think it's a last resort. You are putting someone else's DNA into your body. It's changing who you are, literally. Now, it can be incredibly helpful. So I'm saying, yes, there is a time and place. Some people have done remarkably well with a fecal transplant, okay? Is it willy-nilly that anybody should try this? Absolutely not. I think it's a bad idea. I really do. What I would do is I would not change your gut flora unless you need to. I would run the big three to look at your gut issues. Looks at food sensitivities, looks at yeast, looks at bacteria, looks at parasites, looks at H. pylori, okay? Then do the CBO protocol, then do the CBO finisher, do the para protocol first if you need to, fix the body, rebalance the gut over 6 months or so. Take a maximum of a year if you need to. Work with the right practitioners like an IHP2, like Laura. If needed, and this is still ongoing, that's when to talk to a specialist, like a naturopathic doctor that's licensed, that specializes in fecal transplants. I'd be really careful swallowing feces of another person through your stomach, through the digestive tract. I think it's a bad idea. I really do. Now, I'm keeping my mind open to it. I really am. And I do think there's a time and place, which I just stated. And I'd much prefer to see it done on a fecal transplant than these capsules. And I was going to give you the slang name for it, but I'm not, because I realize that this is a family show. All right, let's move on to Anonymous. Anonymous says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. My wife has lived with type 1 von Willebrand's her whole life and has been given the traditional Western medical approach of managing it. I'm curious if they've ever encountered this and what recommendations you would have, especially when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth. That is not too far down the road for us and would like to have some basic knowledge from a functional medicine standpoint. Thank you." Yeah, it's a great question. So for people that are not familiar, von Willebrand's, or type 1 at least, I believe type 1 is the most mild. And it's essentially a bleeding disorder where if you were to ever have surgery, you have to be careful because of clotting and bleeding. So this is something to certainly think about, without a doubt, with childbirth. So of course, Anonymous, you are going to speak with your OBGYN, and you're going to make the right decision for you, and you're going to be able to be supported. And again, like I support women when they want to do home births and all those different types of, not like literally me, but I support them, meaning like, yes, do that if you feel that is what's best for you for a home birth. But in this case, probably not the best idea. You'd want to be at a hospital just in case, right? Just in case. Now, you can also be on a midwife floor. Many hospitals have a midwife floor, and you can bring in a doula, you can have midwife do the birth. And then as needed though, there's obviously a full medical center at your disposal. And so I think that would be totally appropriate if you chose to. Okay. So what else could you do? So since this is a specific genetic, I think disorder is probably the right name, to use. It's just again, many of us have all sorts of different things. It's just a mutation. It's something that just occurred, right? And it is part of us. So all we're trying to do is maintain overall health with an individual. We want to be careful though, in your wife's position, with using too much cayenne or omega-3s or anything that's more of a blood thinner. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. I know it's not the exact answer you were looking for, but I would just help your wife get as healthy as humanly possible. This goes for every woman. Before birth, do her heavy metal detox, do all the things that she needs to do. I've got lots of podcasts on that. How to have a happy and healthy pregnancy. That's one of my podcasts. And I think you're going to be great. So all the best. All right, Ria is up next. Ria writes in, or Raya, Delta 8 and Delta 9 THC infused drinks are popping up everywhere. Are they safe? I worry about the unknowns of how these products are manufactured, plus the reported health issues and reactions. Thanks for all you do. Okay, so I would not say that I'm an expert in the marijuana THC cannabinoids, which is what cannabinoids are, literally what CBD comes from, as well as THC from cannabidiol. That's the word that I was trying to stumble over. And but I know a fair amount about it because we manufacture a organic, no pesticide, clean, full spectrum CBD. right? We don't produce THC-based products, but we use CBD, and most people don't even know that we have those, and those are at equilibriumcbd.com. But again, you can always get your favorite brands. It's just so important. And Rye, you bring up a really good point, because it's also how they're manufactured, which is the Wild West right now. So for people that don't know what Delta 8 and Delta 9 are, okay, Delta 9 is one of the main constituents of THC, right? Which gives you the psychoactive based effects. So it can be in body and it can be in mind as well. So the body effects too. And Delta, so it's a very strong extract of THC. Illegal in many states for just kind of over the counter. Delta 8 is a way that they got around that. Delta 8, as long as it's not showing a certain level of THC, can often be sold. Now, it's like anywhere from 25% to half the potency of Delta 9, but also more processed, more extraction methods used. Here's my overall philosophy on marijuana, cannabis, CBD, etc. I like nature, how nature intended it. And so I would recommend the entire, meaning like the cannabis plant itself. Now, you can choose more sativa or more indica-based. That's up to you, totally up to you. But once we start pulling extracts out of this, we're not really using an herb from nature. We're starting to use it in a way that could be overdosed potentially, could lead to some type of poisoning of the body, which is not possible with regular natural grown cannabis. I get very worried when synthetics start to pop up in the market, and I would be very cautious of this. I would much rather someone use obviously full spectrum CBD, even strains of CBD are okay, or a natural form of THC from cannabis. That's my overall philosophy. People will have different opinions, and that's okay. And there's actually certain strains that can be very beneficial for like somebody with glaucoma, or somebody with pain, or somebody with like on the ASD, autism-based spectrum. So like there's different strains for different people. Epilepsy is another one. So, and I'm okay with that. But what I would say, if I'm giving general information, not providing medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, I would say look for the most natural and closest to nature as possible. Okay? So hopefully that was helpful. Let's get in one more question. This one is from Kelsey. Kelsey says, hi, Dr. Cabral. My cycle the last 6 months has been longer than usual, about 35 to 40 days before it restarts. I only bleed for 3 to 4 days, which is normal for me, but days 25 to 35, I'm holding a lot of water, sweating at night, etc. I'm waiting to purchase the stress mood and metabolism test until I'm done with the CBO protocol. Is there anything I can do about it in the meantime? That's a great question. So I'm glad that you're already kind of up on it and on it. So yeah, this is important because just quick crash course on overall menstrual cycle. About the first 14 days or so, that's the follicular cycle. Estrogen starts to rise. Then we have ovulation right around the middle of the cycle, around day 14 or so, if you have a normal 28-day or so cycle. And then after that, we have a drop in estrogen. We have a rise now in progesterone and kind of a leveling out of estrogen. And then hormones then drop on day 28 to day 0 of a woman's menstrual cycle. And then day 1 of menstruation begins as those hormones drop. So what we would need to look at on your stress, mood, and metabolism is what's going on with estrogen and progesterone. So we typically look at it on the days of the most symptoms. So days 25 to 35, like that's absolutely what we'd be looking at. And then for you, like, is there anything you can do in the meantime? Well, it depends on how many weeks left you have in the CBO, because you could certainly use estrogen balance. So that can be really helpful. Even if you wanted to use it just after day 14, that would be fine. And you would take 1 or 2 capsules a day, which contains DIM and I3C. Both of those are essentially extracts of cauliflower and broccoli and cruciferous vegetables that help to eliminate excess estrogen from the body. That could be making you hold water and with the night sweats at night. I don't know. Again, like it's hard for me to guess. I can give you many different possibilities, but I need to see that stress, mood, and metabolism. And then I know. And then I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It's estrogen dominance. Or it's actually low estrogen. This is really strange. Oh, it's increased progesterone, which happens to less than 1 out of 10 women. But you might be 1 out of those 1 out of 10 women. You never know, right? So that's why we do this testing. So I would love to also see, how is your cortisol levels interacting? How is your thyroid interacting? This might be multifactorial. We look at blood sugar, we look at vitamin D, and all of that is on the stress mood and metabolism. So for right now, keep your cruciferous vegetables high. Try to use sauna if you can. Calming the mind for sure, using magnesium, maybe using the sleep help support protocol at night, which is going to have the magnesium, the adrenal soothe in there, maybe a little bit of that liquid melatonin to kind of reset that hormonal system. But hopefully that's helpful. No doubt about it. Either way, Kelsey, once you run that lab, you'll be getting a personalized plan just for you. Anybody who wants to see all the different labs, get your own personalized plan, head on over to StephenCabral.com/shop. Just click on the labs tab and you'll be able to see all the different labs. All of those come with a one-on-one chat with a health coach, as well as a personalized plan built just for you. You can also get that done with any one of our IHP2 integrative health practitioners. You can find our amazing practitioners at integrativehealthpractitioner.org/practitioners. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow on our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Don't miss it. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my health results accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to StephenCabral.com/courses.